Welcome to the Freely Rooted Mama podcast. Where I am their mother, I make the choice. All right, mamas, welcome to another episode of the podcast. Oh, this episode is just to kind of give you an update on my life. So whether or not you're interested or not, my baby boy turns 2 this week. I don't even know how I have a 2-year-old right now and how she's almost 5 months. Like, time just flies. And any of you guys that are parents, they tell you that, right? They tell you that A, you'll never know love like the love for your kids, and B, like, time just flies. And you're kind of like, yeah, when they tell you that until you have kids, and you're like, holy crap, yeah, time has flown. So anyways, it's just really exciting. It's a fun time to celebrate him. Last year, we were in Spain for his birthday, which was really fun. We got to celebrate his first birthday in Spain. So it'll be fun to be home this year for him. So he's turning 2. We got goats. If you're following me on Instagram, and if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've wanted goats for a very long time. Obviously, we could not have goats in California. We lived in a neighborhood with a very tiny backyard and 3 dogs at the time. So goats was not in my future when we lived in California. And when we moved to Washington, I knew one day I was going to get goats. I think I've talked about this before on the podcast. When I set my mind to something, like, I just go all in. And for some reason, this lady that didn't live very far from here had to get rid of her 2 goats. They were moving, our 2 Nigerian dwarf goats. And I was like, all right, it's time. So there's nothing like to add 2 goats into the mix of an already crazy life of a toddler and a newborn baby. But yeah, now we have goats. And then we got a male goat so Pearl and Lilu are our girls. And then we've got a male named Cary Grant, and he is not fixed. So we're hoping that Lilu and Pearl are both pregnant so that we'll have babies in the spring, and then we'll go get him fixed. Because if you know anything about goats, a male goat that is not fixed is incredibly smelly. They're incredibly smelly and kind of gross. I'm hoping that we have some little babies in the spring to add to our new goat clan. And then my husband is getting hunting goats next spring. So we're just becoming the crazy goat people here now. So that's exciting. In other news, I have this, and I'm so excited about so many of the concepts and questions you guys continue to ask. I'm going to continue to make content that surrounds a lot of your questions. But on top of that, what I'm really excited that I'm developing, and I'm putting it together, depending on when you're listening to this, end of October, beginning of November. So I'm hoping to have it ready by December, if not the first of the year. I'm putting together this out of the box motherhood, birth, pregnancy, postpartum course. I feel like it's out of the box for children from conception all the way until you're in motherhood. I don't know a better way to describe it because it's so many concepts and so many different topics, but I'm putting it together in a course that really goes through, I'm going to talk to the author of the Nurture Parenting book that I always talk about. For the life of me, I can't remember. Nurture Neuroscience lady on Instagram. I'm going to talk to her about a child's brain and how they develop. I'm going to talk to a doula and ask her, what's the difference between a doula and a midwife? And what are some of the things that women can do to be more prepared for birth? And I'm going to talk to a midwife and address so many of the questions that you guys have asked. I'm going to talk to a family therapist and talk about what does it look like when we transition from being single or maybe a married couple into parenthood and what all that encompasses. I'm going to talk to a life coach about similar things, like how do we keep our relationship strong, and how do you handle things like sex and just parenting and maybe differences of families. And anyways, I'm just so excited. So I'm putting it together in a course. If you want to be notified of when that course comes available, make sure you join my email newsletter, because that's the easiest way. Between that and Instagram, easiest way to be notified. I'm hoping to have it out here in December, and then I'm going to keep adding to it. So if you buy into it, and as I do more comprehensive interviews, as you guys interact with me more and ask me more questions, I will bring on experts or just people that I know have an amazing heart that share very similar philosophy. It actually makes me want to cry. It's so amazing how many people are in our sphere of just wanting to do this parenting more intentionally and wanting to do birth naturally. Or at least more naturally, and wanting to know alternatives to pregnancy and how we handle birth and postpartum and Anyways, I'm just so excited. So if you want to be notified, make sure you sign up for my email newsletter. So I'm putting that together. And then on top of that, as if I don't have enough things going on, my husband and I are working on a really cool project. Oh, and I so want to tell the world, but I want to make sure that we're kind of in motion in the first steps, but working on a really cool product for our kiddos, meaning you and me, our kiddos, and to help their just overall development. So if you want to be notified of when that exciting news gets to come out, also join my email newsletter. You'll get notified there. And of course, follow me on Instagram. That's mainly where I'm at and the only thing I pretty much have time for. So yeah, that's kind of what's new in our life. Like, I can't believe Christmas is almost here. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. So I'm very excited. And Isaac's a little bit more, he's older now. So I think he's going to get it a little bit more. So I'm really excited for that. And then, yeah, that and just all of our projects going on. It's kind of what we've got going on right now. And I'm secretly like side planning our trip. So we got married in Italy, my husband and I. And I know that sounds like, oh my gosh, very bougie. It was actually cheaper than getting married in California, just FYI. And it was amazing. So we got married in Italy and we said we would go back on our 5-year anniversary, which is next year. So I'm trying to plan a trip to Italy for next June. I am hoping that flights get a little bit cheaper because next year we will actually have to pay for a plane ticket for Isaac these days. And so it's a little expensive, but looking to go to a trip to Italy. We'll go back to Cinque Terre, which is where we got married. And then we're looking to go to the Dolomites and spend some time up there. So if you've been around there, find me on Instagram. Tell me where you went, what you loved, what we should do, not do. That would be awesome. But otherwise, I just thank you guys so much for being along on this journey and listening to the episodes and giving me your feedback and giving me your questions. And just getting to interact with you guys. Like, that's what this is about, is just trying to find a tribe of people where we have similar values and similar beliefs and we can come together and support each other. And I just love getting to utilize all the knowledge that I've gained over the last 10 years and be able to kind of bring it into this different group of people, which is us women that are, thinking about getting pregnant, having babies. We have toddlers. Like, I'm just so grateful for all of my experience and all of my knowledge to get to kind of bring it in and give it and share it and give it back to you guys. And hopefully some of it is applicable and easy to implement for you. But I just so thank you for being here and being on this journey. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll dedicate this little episode to my son, Isaac, on his 2nd birthday.